welcome.
Money saving tips today.
Money saving tips. So if your goal is to buy a house in 2025, which we talked about last week, you're going to want to listen up. And these are some ways that maybe you could save a little and make you feel better about it.
Yes.
So maybe not necessarily like enough for like a big down payment, that these little tips aren't going to save you that much, but you know, where you feel more confident adding a mortgage into your monthly budget.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is kind of what I'm thinking. Like, could we cut out a few things? So, you know, if you're thinking $2,000 a month is my housing expense, and the house you really want is $2,500, how can you make that happen by saving a little extra money every month?
Habits to change.
Because I guarantee if you like really unbury it, there's money there.
Yeah.
So, and I always think of it like when I bought my first car, I was like, I cannot afford this car payment. I woke up the next day shitting bricks, like, holy, like, what was I thinking doing this? And then it was like, I just paid it. I mean, for 6 years, I paid it. I never didn't pay it. And then, you know, then you go to your next car and you're like, you walk in and you say, I can't go over this. And we always do when we buy a car. And it's always, I'm like, $150 more than I walked in there wanting.
Yeah.
I can't afford that. I knew better. Why did I do that? And then you just pay it.
Right.
So it's there. It just, you know, you spend it in different ways, but it's
And
there.
have a conversation with yourself also. I love that you just brought that up about vehicles. There's so many people that are paying a house payment for vehicles nowadays.
Right? It's crazy.
Have you had that car long enough now where you're over the payment? Like, it's okay to either sell it outright or trade it in and get a lower monthly payment so you can afford a house, because your money going out monthly is by far better in a house than in the automobile.
Yes. And we did that with my husband. He had a truck payment that was like $800. And when we were going to buy our first house, I was like, first of all, you can't afford this. Like, you're short on other bills to pay this when we first met. And, you know, and I was like, this has to go. And that's okay. And this is, you have to think of it too as like temporary. So like, I'm not saying, you know, cut yourself off from ever getting your nails done or ever having a Starbucks again for the rest of your life. But this is temporary. So maybe you have that big truck and it's a mortgage payment and you trade it in and you have to drive something that's maybe less easy on the eyes, and but it's temporary. It's to get you into a house, and then maybe you start paying your mortgage and then you get a raise at work, or, you know, you get used to paying it. Or you pay, and a few years down the road, that credit card is paid off. And now you can go buy the big truck. Or you get married and now you're a 2-income household and you can have the big truck. So it's not forever. So I think eyes on the prize and really focus. So I know last week I mentioned I don't get my nails done. That's one of my big money saving things. And I hate it. But I don't. And I actually went to this is my natural hair color. So it's like a blondish gray now. But I get more compliments on it now than when I was paying $120 to get my hair done. So I still get a haircut, but I don't get the hair color. So that's something that I kind of personally cut out. I know I used to be a smoker years ago, so I know that's a big thing, especially at
for a lot of people,
you know, turn of the year, people not wanting to smoke or vape. Like, these are all things that cost money. So if you can cut that out of your budget, and I don't even know what a pack of cigarettes cost now, probably $12 flat.
Wow.
If you're smoking a pack a day, that's a lot of money. That's a mortgage payment. So things like that, if you can commit to cutting out those vices that you don't need anyways, that are harmful to you, that's like a great money saving thing.
Subscriptions, TV subscriptions,
we were just talking. Check your subscriptions, because I don't know how many times I subscribe to something just because I want to watch that show, but I'm done watching that show and I'm still paying $10 a month for it. So keep an eye on your subscriptions. Like, I know I had put some on a credit card and I don't use that credit card often, and I don't look at my statement. I just make the payment. So I looked and I was like, what is this I'm paying $23 a month for? So check your statements, make sure you're checking line by line that bank account, check your Amazon, your Google, that's where your subscriptions will be, and get rid of things that you don't really need right now.
Yeah.
To help you in that saving, because those add up. And you know, I think we talked a little bit about writing down things last week and like a vision board. I think it's important to like write down a budget. So I didn't bring it. I got a new planner for this year because I was like, I'm a write down person. I still am putting it in my phone, but now I have a planner, and like we have those I like this one because it has like top 3 things I'm going to do that week. And I've been putting back burner things on there. Like this week, it was like make the new 2025 folders in my Dropbox and like reorganize that, delete some things I don't need, clean that up. That's done. You know, I had maybe TMI, I have to make an OBGYN appointment.
Right.
So that's on like, and I've been putting it off. My primary said, I need you to go to see an actual OB and I need to do it. It's my health. And I've been putting it off.
Yeah.
QuickBooks, like, been putting that off. So you're focusing on 3 things. So I think this is the same. And writing down the budget is huge to see what you're spending and where it's going. Because I think once you see it, it makes it harder.
Yeah.
You know, it's more real for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything you do, Laura, to save money?
And I've actually heard of that as well, is to put it on a Post-it note when you narrow down those 3 things or whatnot. Put it on Post-it notes in every room of the house. So you're constantly staring at it, whether you're getting ready for work in the morning, that Post-it note is there, because how many days does it take to kick a habit, so to speak? It's kind of like health. When you make one little step towards your health, whether it's exercising or changing your eating habits, you're going to find after 30 days of doing it that your body actually starts making better choices on its own because you feel great. So
so you need your mind to not spend that money. Savings buy a house. So, you know, write it down, make it visual. It makes it more real for you. We talked about subscriptions. One thing I read online when I was kind of looking at what other people were doing was not only deleting the subscriptions, but really going through your inbox and your spam folder and deleting those emails for things you subscribe to. Like, you know, I ordered Birkenstocks for my kids for Christmas. And if I gave them my email, I got a discount, 10%, whatever it was. But now I'm on their email list. And then you might see a great deal come through, and then you're going to spend. So if you delete those, then you don't see the sales or the coupons, and you don't have that trigger if you're a spender to want to spend. So get rid of those. And then someone mentioned deleting from those different stores that you like to shop at, that you know, those apps that get you all the time to buy things, or even just your Google and your Amazon. Don't save any credit card info, because, and I'm guilty of this. I'm like, oh, this vitamin that's going to make me skinny, this sounds great. And I'm laying on the couch and I want to order it. And if I have to get up and go get my wallet to put in my info, I'm not interested in going downstairs, finding my purse. So I won't buy it. But if it's saved and I'm like, oh, I know the last 3 numbers, put that security code in, and bam, it's all my info's in there. And it's so somebody, and I think that's a great idea, is deleting your card from, don't make it easy to buy.
Make it harder.
And keep a copy of everything that you canceled subscription wise, because this just happened to me. I canceled a bunch of subscriptions probably last year for my resolution. And I noticed after a couple months that the auto payments started coming out of my checking account again. So here I am now, like, I know that I canceled all 3 of these. There's 3 in particular. So now I have to go through my old calendars, and hopefully, because I swear I wrote it down somewhere that I canceled them on what date. So definitely, because maybe that's just a tactic that they do also, is somehow put it right back after a couple months. I don't know. But something
you won't notice. But so keep an eye on things. Another thing we were talking about is like Amazon. I mean, they get me every time. Things I don't need. It's like the internet version of Target. I don't know why, but I'm like, yes, I'm going to get this from Amazon like some days. And it's just, I get on this kick. So somebody recommended leaving it in your cart for 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever it is.
Good point.
And not buying it right away. And then really thinking like, do I need this? And going back and buying it later.
Delete the app from your phone.
Yeah, if you can, delete the app. So if you have to
had a couple cocktails or a couple glasses of wine, everything's gonna look so much better. You're like, wow, that's gonna change my life.
Yeah, TikTok shop gets me every time. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, deleting some apps, not clicking. Try to stop yourself. Another thing was like put yourself on a no buy. So maybe you're gonna. The lady that I didn't know what a no buy was. So you're not going to buy anything. You're not buying anything. I mean, you're going to survive. You're going to buy groceries and the gas and the things you need, but you're not going to buy anything. You want that sweater? You're not going to buy it. You have a wedding. You're going to find something in your closet and rewear it. Yeah. You don't need another eyeshadow palette.
Right.
You're not buying anything. And then she was like, I did it 30 days. And then I realized I didn't even notice. So I did it 60 days. And then I did it the whole year. I didn't buy myself anything. I didn't absolutely need to function or survive for an entire year. And I think about, I was at Ulta and I bought makeup that I definitely didn't need. I already had makeup, but I thought this was going to be better. Turns out it was sunscreen. It was $50. So, marked as foundation, but
oh my God.
If you can not buy those little extra things, that's good too.
Yeah.
Shop discount. Like there's nothing Aldi is awesome, by the way.
I love
Aldi. Everyone thinks of it as like a discount place. It is. It's a lot cheaper than your basic grocery store. Sometimes you have to go to another store because they won't have what you need. But my family has learned that, I can get everything I need to make the things we like at Aldi.
Yeah.
So shop discount, the Walmart has, what is it, Good Value. It's usually like 50%. There's a
and they're probably manufactured at the same place.
Yeah, it's probably the exact same. The packaging is different, and it's a mental thing for you. Like I don't want Good Value.
That's it. Designer, anything, everything is. It's all a facade of.
So shopping. Somebody mentioned getting a library card, which I didn't even think. Libraries are digital now too, and you can get ebooks from your library right to your Kindle or wherever you like to read them. There was an app, Libby. I hadn't heard of it. My husband's a big ebook person, so he spends a lot of money on Google Books. So I'm going to have him try it out. So I guess Libby, you can get a lot of free books, and it links to your library.
And if you're already paying for like a music subscription, like we use Spotify. Spotify has tons of audiobooks, podcasts, things like that. Like, it might not be that exact one, but you might find something else you can listen to or enjoy too that you're already paying for,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And let's not leave out current homeowners, because there's so many people that are current homeowners that are struggling with debt, right?
Yeah.
How do I get... It's happening. People are just using their credit cards just to make ends meet. Whatever the case is, there's going to be two solutions for you as a homeowner. It depends on how long have you been a homeowner. Is it 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? The longer, the better, because you're going to have more equity in the home and a lower principal balance. But you're going to have two options as a current homeowner. You're going to have a home equity line of credit, which basically goes into second lien position behind your first mortgage. And it works like a credit card similarly. So you could focus on paying off your credit cards and actually feeling like you're getting somewhere and you're not drowning in debt anymore. The second way is going to do just a straight cash out. And if I hear so many people, they just do not want to budge off of their low interest rate first lien mortgage. And if you've owned the home a long time and have this first lien low mortgage, but you have a lot of debt, I'm here to tell you that there is a way that you can do it. You can get rid of that first lien mortgage, get rid of that low interest rate. It's going to hurt psychologically, but I can guarantee you, we can show you how to take the higher interest rate, pay off all of your debt or some of your debt based on what equity you have, and still be on track to pay the new mortgage off with the higher rate in the same amount of time and become debt free. It's amazing. We can show you the total interest that you pay into it. So
I need that. Yeah. Because I am like one that I like, we'll live off this credit card. We have a HELOC that we used for home improvement. Now I'm like, we'll take from there when we need. And now it's like, wow, I have all this debt and I have a house
Yeah.
with a 2.3% rate on a 15-year and I owe under 100 and it's worth $500,000. So it's like, it's there, but there's no more money I've tapped out.
Right.
Yeah.
But so we've talked about refinancing, and that I'm one that, struggles with that.
Yeah, there's a way, trust me, to show it to you and even show you through amortization and total interest paid on the higher interest rate.
And speaking of debts too, I mean, those credit cards, I mean, it's high. They're like 30 in the 30s. That's insane. So if you do have high talk to your local bank. I should have wrote it down when I read it online yesterday. There is, personal loans out there they might be 10%, but 10% and 30% is a big difference when we talk about payment. Like I look at my credit card and I'm paying $1,000 a month is what I like to pay every month. 475 of that last month goes towards interest.
Yes.
So it's like over the year, I'm like, it doesn't go down.
Yeah.
So I've talked about, if you get credit card offers where it's 0 interest for 2 years and you have, you never want to transfer something that is not realistic to do, but the rate's going to be higher in the long run, but we're going to transfer to a 0 interest till May of 2026, I think it is, so that I can take that credit card balance I'm paying and then transfer it. Will I pay it off by May of 2026? Probably not, because it's a high balance, but I'm going to make a huge dent in it, way more so than when I leave it at.
Yeah.
My whole 1,000 is going to come off that. So I'm going to pay way more off. So if you get offers like that, or, ask your bank about a personal loan, and then you can consolidate some of this debt, and you have to really commit to not taking on new debt.
Yeah.
I think when you do that.
We now have personal loans also. So Guaranteed Rate offers personal loans as well, which is interesting. We're kind of trying to put more things out there. So when somebody doesn't need a mortgage, we have something else that they need. We have a home equity line now that we have available. So, but personal loans, beware that they are a little more difficult to qualify for in some cases.
Right.
So.
Another thing, I know we're running a little long on this one, but most people have already cut their cable. We talked about all the apps, so kind of pare it down to what you absolutely need. But every company has a retention sector. So let's take where we are at Spectrum for internet. So Spectrum has cable. They also have an app. They also have cell phones. They also have internet. So when I was going to use US Cellular was offering me $30 a month for this internet. I tried it. It sucked. Sorry, US Cellular, but it totally sucked. And I can't watch the thing go one time when I'm working from home. I like to multitask.
Right.
So, but I called Spectrum and you ask for retention. So whenever you're calling your internet provider, your cable provider, ask for retention, and that's to retain your business. So you're calling to say, I'm going to leave unless you do something to retain me. So my bill went from $98 a month to $49.99 a month.
Wow.
And it was one phone call. I mean, I don't even think I was on the phone 5 minutes. And I said, hey, I have this thing. He's like, we can't do 30 a month, but we could do like 50. It'll be like 49. And I was like, okay, done. Or, we're related if nobody knows, but our grandma and aunts lived together, and they still need a landline, internet, and they have, I think, the app or something. I mean, it was like $280 a month. And now my mom called retention and worked out, and they're like, well, we have a better program now too, because sometimes they have specials, and even though you're already a customer,
right, they're not going to call you and offer it.
Yeah, there's packages that you could get in on. So this particular package was only $180 a month. Yeah, $280 to $180, plus they got a free cell phone. And my mom's like, they don't want it, and they're like, well, it's more expensive if you don't take the package with the phone. So now they have an extra phone in the house. So, just when you're making a list. We talked about last week about your budget and making this home ownership a reality. You also need to, when you're writing down these bills, look at things like that. Cell phones, where you can save.
Insurance, like auto insurance. I think there's some type of rule. 3 years typically from the date you've had a
homeowners
claim on insurance.
Yeah, homeowners and auto. I try to have somebody rerun mine every year because I have a friend that's at State Farm. I'm at American Family, and she, you know, usually it's about the same where it's not worth me moving everything over, but I still have her look every year because if there's a savings, I'm going to move. I'm going to make a move. So look into that because you could definitely be saving there, make the phone calls, ask for discounts. Like they're there, but like Lindsay said, they're not going to call you and be like, hey, you know, do you want like 25% off your bill for the next 6 months? Like
hey, you're already walked in. They're not about you.
Yeah, they don't
They're
care. So
towards
you
new
need
people.
to call. You know, even cell phone companies. You know, sometimes when we buy them, now you have like a lease or whatever. When we switched to US Cellular, we had to have their highest like plan because we were new, but we didn't owe much like on our trade-in. So now we're probably paid off on most of our phones. So we could drop that and it's like $100 a month, 25 a line. So we could probably drop down to the medium one. I mean, I don't really think too, when they sell you this high speed versus low and medium, there's really not much of a difference because I've always tried the best of the best and it still sucks. So, you know, maybe drop down to that unless you're streaming video all the time and gaming and working from home and you really need that high speed, you could probably drop down a little,
but lots of good ideas to keep you, you know,
keep you on track.
I'll try to make in the comments too, and this to grab a pen and paper when you're watching our videos is good because take some notes and
and
this is a personal journey for whoever's watching it.
We're going to talk about the actual loan app, like itself.
Hopefully Laura will be able to show it to us. I think there's a way we can actually put the
and we'll get you guys the link. So if you want to fill it out, and this doesn't mean just because you fill out an app doesn't mean I'm buying a house.
Right.
So this is like to kind of set that groundwork to kind of start paving that road to get you to homeownership and set up a plan. So, and again, you know, it's just, it's an important first step. And I think a lot of people are afraid. So we'll go over what you need. Like, what do I need in front of me? I need to know my social. Do I need to know? So Laura will tell us everything you're going to need. And then you can watch and then click and fill it all out.
Excellent.
We'll start our journey.
All right.
Everyone have a good weekend. Rest of your week.
You too.
Share, subscribe on the YouTube and
until next time.
Our thing come up every week to remind you to watch our video and
see you next week.
Bye. All right.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.